The man crouched at the hatch of the submersible, watching his teammates descend to work at a depth of 400 meters. Instead of helping, he reached out and cut off his teammate's oxygen supply. The other two team members froze in place, staring in disbelief, unable to comprehend why he would make such a reckless move. Soon, the communication device transmitted the faint distress calls of his teammates. Surprisingly, the two teammates, who had been deeply shocked moments earlier, did not reopen the oxygen valve. Instead, they pulled out the teammate's towel line and threw it into the sea, denying him the chance to return, leaving him to die from suffocation. The act of killing their teammate left the atmosphere in the submersible cabin eerily silent. However, the three had no choice, as the storm had trapped them at a depth of 400 meters, and their oxygen supply was nearly depleted. The recently deceased teammate had insisted on going underwater, wasting oxygen, and they had no other choice. But just as they were feeling guilty, a strange sound suddenly came from nearby. The three looked closely and discovered that the heater had malfunctioned. In the deep sea, the temperature was extremely low, and without the heater, they would soon freeze to death. At that moment, the man who had gone underwater first suddenly came up with an idea. He used a welding torch to continuously heat the water tank. Soon, under the intense heat of the flames, the tank began to emit thick steam, and the temperature inside the diving bell slowly rose. The three men all smiled, but when the captain turned around, he discovered that the welding torch had consumed half of the remaining oxygen. Their joy plummeted instantly. With oxygen running out and the rescue team still nowhere in sight, the three felt utterly despairing. Under the captain's lead, they prepared to write farewell letters to their families. But just then, the communicator suddenly transmitted the rescue team's voice. The captain was startled and quickly moved closer to pick up the communicator and explain their current location to the rescue team. However, to his surprise, the rescue team informed him that the storm was still raging and the ship could not approach. They would have to wait at least 3 hours before they could escape. Hearing this, the captain felt utterly hopeless, as the remaining oxygen wouldn't even last the three of them for 1 hour, let alone 3. Just as he was struggling with this dilemma, Jack came up with an idea. At the connection points of the oil pipelines, there were oxygen cylinders stored for maintenance personnel to replace. If they could find those oxygen cylinders, they could survive for a much longer time.